All right, guys. I'm late.
Cumulative time through the 4 intervals will win the event. Fraser's done, Quant and Olsen are done, and now it's on to the slam ball.
We're here, though.
I need to see Noah throw that ball down harder. Look at Fraser in the middle lane as he's pulling up quick and driving it down, but it slips out of your hand, and that's the danger of coming to the slam ball wet. Matt Fraser had a little bit of a slip. No room for error, and at 10 reps, you cannot have little mistakes like that. Noah had a clean run. Matt slipped in this about 4th or 5th rep, and that was the difference between a first and second place finish for the first interval of 4.
So only 8 seconds separating Olsen from Adler. Olsen wins the first interval. Adler finishes in 5th at 2:08.74.
Right, I'll explain the event in a second
until the 4-minute mark, and they will do the event in reverse order for round 2.
So now we have an idea of what this event's going to feel like. They weren't sure how, how are my feet going to feel when I get onto a salt bike without shoes on? That's a unique feeling, and it does change the intensity.
So they're doing 4 rounds, and they're doing it every 4 minutes. 15 cal bike,
sprint the bike.
50-meter swim,
did that next to Noah, but
10
Noah
GHD sit-ups, 10
and I said send
wall,
the swim. You're going to have
slams.
to do that if you're a bad swimmer. You have no choice. You can't be slow if you're not the best. However, if you're a good one, it's okay just to be good and not get fatigue and save it for the end.
I'm going to see.
But transitions between the two.
Oh, whoops.
Noah getting to the ball just ahead of the other
athletes. Actually realize I still have my...
First. I want to see more intensity from Noah between the movements and not just focus on speed during the movements.
The follower goal from streaming video games there. Hold up, I'll change it off the screen.
First interval.
There we go. There we go.
2 minutes even. Jeffrey Adler
whoops.
Finishing 5th, 2:08.74.
So I stream on Twitch sometimes some video games.
First interval.
Valorant, Fortnite, PGA Tour golf,
and here's the thing.
whatever.
Tight is the perfect
so I have my Twitch numbers up on there.
We said we don't want to belabor no room for error.
If you're wondering,
3 seconds to Noah.
If I just woke up, I did. That's why I'm kind of tired.
If Noah
I got some coffee though.
There's no
my Georgia mug.
Up. He's going to have to hope Noah screws up in the next 3 intervals.
Interval 2 is underway. Remember, your cumulative time is your final score, and these guys don't know what their cumulative score is. So the only way to know that you're going to win the event is if you win every interval.
Matt is not throwing the ball down. Matt is just touching the ball to the ground. I haven't seen anybody do this yet. Now, he just dropped it on that one, but that limits the errors you can have by trying to pick up a low.
It's supposed to be a slam.
Number 36 scored repetitions in the event.
I think maybe he got away with it for their first 8 reps. Somebody said something like slam it maybe, and he did it for the 9th and the 10th. I don't know, because that's not a ball slam. That's a ball from overhead to ground. You know what I mean? Like, you'd say ground overhead, but it's like ball from overhead to ground.
Who didn't finish at the same time, and it's just
I don't think they'll let him do that. But
I like that from Medeiros. That's actually a pretty darn good stroke out there from Medeiros.
But you have to walk the line. If you're Matt, do it until they tell you can't. You know what I mean? Let the judge make that decision if that's a slam or not. Or, you know what I mean? So I like it.
Noah Olsen.
Fraser now is pulled ahead of Medeiros. Olsen the
whoa! I'm not talking about the event a lot here, but did you see me take a drink of that coffee? It was so hot, my body was like not ready. That was funny. It's got to cool off a little more.
Look at Matt Fraser in the center lane. Look at the cadence he has driving on that versus Noah Olsen in the forepart of your screen.
Fraser and Quant trading the lead. Their judges' hands in the air at about the same time. Now Medeiros' judge's hand is in the air. Olsen's judge's hand. Fraser's across. Quant is across. So actually faster that way. Now Fraser's going to be able to erase that 3-second deficit that he had to Noah Olsen and actually gain some time on him. Fraser beats Olsen by 6 seconds. But remember, it's your cumulative time now, and these guys don't know what that is as we're halfway through this event.
I think Matt in the first round, he just felt out what the event was going to be like. How is this bike going to feel? How's my heart rate going to be in the water? What's the transition going to be like on the GHD? And getting used to a slam ball. I guarantee you Matt's never really done slam balls in training before. Barely any of these guys have, unless they did an on-ramp at the first CrossFit event.
And another thing I'm thinking is think about the last time we were in the pool and how there were, to put it kindly,
I'm feeling like I'm not too awake till I get some coffee in me, so I'm kind of waiting for it to cool off here.
The same when they're in the water.
Well, where did Matt lose the first part? It was on the slam ball where it slipped out of his hand because he was dropping and catching. He learned his lesson and never let go of the slam ball. But when he got to the pool, he really poured on the intensity that I'm not seeing from Noah. You think you would see a little bit more of that. Noah looks exhausted in the pool. And then when it came down to the bike, again, there's no pacing in this event. It's like, no, don't send it. You got to send it from end to end. And Fraser did that and just edging out Quant. So that should put him pretty close at maybe in a
So they're doing it every 4 minutes. They're taking about 2 minutes.
6 seconds on that round.
So it's about equal work to rest that they're looking at.
Quant go sub 2 minutes. Olsen, Medeiros, and Adler separated by 10 seconds.
So trying to drink this coffee.
So right now, unofficially, Sam Quant has the fastest cumulative time at 3:59. Fraser second at 4:03. Noah Olsen third at 4:05. Medeiros is fourth at 4:07, and Jeff Adler is fifth at 4:24. Again, that's unofficial. So Sam Quant right now, your event leader.
Edgar, chill, dog.
Second, Olsen third.
He's a pig, but.
Interval 3 underway, and we start with 15 calories on the assault bike.
You still got to push the bike. You still got to push the bike as if it's the end of the event. There's no option here. It's the third round. We should have
you have 3 and 4 rounds, 4 left. This is interesting.
How you're going to feel like coming back, and you should have perfected
Will you let Edgar in there?
your pace and perfected your technique for all 4 of these movements.
Sam Quant done first, and he is into the pool ahead of everybody, and Quant has a 4-second lead on Matt Fraser right now for first place. Justin Medeiros is in.
No surprise to see Quant off the bike first. He's the biggest athlete in the field, and it pays to be a big boy on an assault bike.
Yeah, that is true.
Olsen's back in fourth. He's on the left. He would be on the left side of your screen.
Sorry, guys. I know I'm not talking much.
But he was the 4th man into the pool, followed by Jeff.
I feel like I'm just waking up, you know?
4-second cushion.
This is interesting because, like, the announcers are wrong in that sense where you can't full send every time. You can't go 100% effort for 2 minutes, rest 2, 100% effort for 2, rest 2. Like, you're not going to recover by the 3rd and 4th. You have to go, like, 95. It's not full send. You know what I mean?
Quant done first.
So, like, Noah there in round 2, maybe he should have went a little harder on that assault bike. Because the more fit you are, you can go either 90% in the first 2 or 3, and then 100 on the last 2, or, 95%, and then I'll give you 100%, but it might actually be like 95% in terms of time. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if you 100% full send on that first one, you're not going to win this event. You know what I mean? Full send would be running from the GHD, like sprinting to the ball. Like, you just don't have that. I get what they're saying, though. They wanted to see Noah push the assault bike because it was the end of the. It was the last movement on that one. Yeah, now they're making Matt slam it.
Quant's getting gassed.
Quant is done and Quant is in, so he's going to increase his lead on Fraser going into the 4th and final interval, 2:16.64 seconds, and here comes Fraser.
Wow, look how much slower those were.
Matt Fraser, so unofficially his lead will be 11 seconds on Fraser going into the final interval.
Look how much slower those rounds are.
He takes 4th in that interval.
They were coming out hot, though, on the first 2, huh?
Medeiros also finished. He took 3rd in that interval, and now Jeff Adler will take 5th. Let's send it down to Nikki Brazier, who's at the pool.
Guys, I think we are really starting to see that the wetness factor of getting out of the pool and onto these pieces of equipment is really starting to take effect on these athletes. In between rounds, they're taking their towels that were put on the end to,
so this is
to
good.
dry
This
their bodies,
coming to round 4.
using it to dry the D-balls, to dry
because I was late on round 1.
Hopefully get that little bit of an advantage come the next round.
Thank you, Nikki. Jeff Adler, who is bringing up the rear here, started the day in 2nd place. And remember, only 45 points separated him from 5th place Noah Olson.
Yes.
And that's how quickly this can change.
And what I like to see from Samuel Kwan is that all weekend long, we talked earlier, he's kind of been the guy playing golf, using only the irons, just keep it down the middle of the fairway. You know, not hitting the big bombs off the tee box. But Kwan, last night,
I like that analogy.
Happy Star, went out hard and tried to keep pace with Matt Fraser and maybe dictate it a little bit. We wanted to see more of that for Kwan.
I don't think Matt could beat Quant by 11 seconds here.
In this first event. It's going to be very
I know that was only 7, but his cumulative lead, I think they said it was 11 seconds going into this one.
Final interval underway. Sam Quant unofficially has a 10-second lead on Matt Fraser in this event.
How heavy is the slam ball? I didn't see. 60
third
pounds.
place, and he only has a 3-second
It says it up top.
on Noah Olson.
If I just read the screen.
Jeff Adler right now has the slowest cumulative time, unofficially 7:05.
Matt's not slamming it
6
again.
seconds. Fraser's done first.
I don't know.
To the GHDs.
Yeah, I don't think he was slamming it again.
Is second, so Quant
You
just
do what you can.
has to keep Fraser basically next to him. 10 seconds is all he can afford to lose.
Matt got there first by, again, using that touch-and-go strategy with the slam ball. We haven't seen anybody else use that. I'd be curious to see it, and we're going to see more of the women do that since they got to see that take place.
So Fraser's off, Medeiros who's off first. He's at the top of your screen.
Quant's going
to
wow.
with Matt Fraser.
So it's the same thing we saw on the interval. You know, when we go back the other direction,
they're really staying neck and neck on the swim.
Medeiros. He's fast on the slam ball in the GHD, loses some pace in the swim. But Fraser's tempo on the assault bike at the end. Quant has the
Quant's breathing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and Fraser, Matt's every other. And they're still keeping the same pace. I don't know. You notice Matt's going boom, boom, breathing right every time. Quant's every third, so boom.
10 seconds separate each of them from each other. So Medeiros
boom,
is in third by 10 seconds.
Which is kind of interesting.
Second by 10 seconds.
I mean, so this is just what I learned in swimming. Not that I ever got real good, but depending on how long you have to go, how far you have to go, you have to know.
This is it. This is the end of the event.
You got to know your recovery. Like you have to know your recovery breathing technique. Where Quant's might be every third. So we can have long exhales under the water, right? You breathe in, so you're blowing out the whole time, and then Matt's might be every other. You know what I mean?
Judge's hand is in the air. Fraser's in. Quant is in. So Sam Quant only surrenders 2 seconds. So Sam Quant is going to win this event, and he's probably going to find himself in second place overall, heading into event 11. Justin Medeiros is in. This is big for Medeiros because remember, Jeff Adler only led Medeiros.
It's a big shakeup on the leaderboard.
Going in. So Olson gets in. He's going to pick up 20 on Adler. Medeiros will pick up 40. Quant's going to pick up 85.
Oh, that event looked like it hurt.
And all we're going to see 2nd through 5. We thought it was compressed earlier coming in. It's going to be that much tighter coming out of this event.
And once again, just put it in a blender and mix it up because the leaderboard just does not want to stay the same after every event except for that guy. Matt Fraser will still be in first place overall.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Sam
oh, yeah. You hear that in the mic?
Has won the event.
Oh, yeah.
And he did it by keeping Fraser close on that final interval.
And he just had clean runs, right? He had clean runs, good transitions, good on the slam balls. On the back half of this, for this 4th interval, Medeiros was just as fast as he was on the 2nd interval in this reverse order for this event. But it was Fraser's good transition out of the pool, goggles off and to the bike.
Wow, Medeiros is on the bike first, huh?
Matt Fraser is putting on this competition. Got him at least the win for the interval. But it was Samuel Quant's consistency and clean runs that got him the victory for this event.
That looked painful for him.
Sam Quant, who has just, like you said, been just kind of quiet. Except for that. All weekend long.
Is that another announcer's curse?
I guess so.
That was awesome.
He's been pretty good at it all weekend long.
Oh.
but now will find himself
That
inside
was
the
great.
top three.
That's going to be so memeable. I
it.
make Watts
more
great
events to
again.
go, and we talked about the volatility of the leaderboard so far. With the sprint event coming up, that's another volatile event.
And Matt Fraser's still your overall leader, but Sam Quant wins an event, and he is with Mickey Brazier.
Yep. With so many different factors in front of you here, you're wet from the pool,
That was
you're
awesome.
barefoot, we've got the D-balls in the end. How confident were you going in that this was going to be your event?
I honestly wasn't sure how it was going to go. I didn't know for sure if it was being my event or not, but I think I was just able to hold on a little longer than everyone else. It was all about the assault bike, and that hurt really bad.
When you say hurt really bad, do you mean like fatigued legs?
Just
or you
everything.
can't breathe?
I mean, like,
just
at
everything.
this point, I'm just trying to keep my breakfast down. It's pretty
Got
gnarly.
it. Got
Assault bike
it.
intervals are never good, and it was all about the assault bike.
Yep, and the first time we've seen this type of an interval so far in the test.
Yeah, that was cool.
As far
All right,
as
guys, I don't wanna make the
entire
video
test
too
goes,
long.
I mean, how are you
Nice
feeling
job, Sam.
in terms of,
I'll be more live
checking
than
out
the
all
ladies,
those
probably.
different types of modalities?
Let's see you
and
guys.
testing these
Yeah, I think
events?
Dave's nailed it so far, and